Well, good morning. My name is Robert Conner. I'm a professor here at Purdue School of Civil Engineering, and welcome to the Center for Aging Infrastructure and the S-BRITE Center. As you can see behind me, it's a unique facility where we have large-scale structures and the opportunity to do unique research and training that really no place else in the country can do because of this large outdoor 22-acre facility that we have. So today we're going to take a few minutes and go and look at some of the steel bridge specimens that we have that we use for these outreach opportunities. So come on, we'll go in the gate and look around. Well, the first stop on our tour is a 1956 all-welded 65-foot span railroad bridge. It spent most of its life on the Pennsylvania Railroad over in New Jersey and then was delivered here a few years ago. In fact, it's one of the first specimens we obtained here at the S-BRITE Center. What's unique about the structure for the bridge people who are listening is the term all welded. Most of the railroad bridges from that period were riveted structures. But because of that, it presents some unique details prior to any knowledge about fatigue design or detailing. And so it's got some unique cracking, some actual fractures, and repairs of fractures in the structure that present really good opportunities for us in our design classes, for practicing engineers, and really anyone interested in bridge inspection to come down and get a good hands-on feel for these types of details. So here we are at our station where we have our truss components. We have a lot of little components, but as you can see behind me, we have an entire 90-foot span pony truss. It came down from the state of Michigan, built roughly in the 1930s. It's a riveted truss with various corrosion damage, details that have been welded on that shouldn't be there. Provides a great example of a large-scale structure with real damage. Great training for our inspectors as well as our students who come through courses like this. Now, what we're going to do is head over to our plate girder section and look at a bridge that had some unique impact damage, the Virginia Avenue Bridge. Well, our next stop is at our station where we have all kinds of different plate girders that you can see behind me. Some are typical depth, some further back you can see are quite deep, very large plate girders. This immediate one, this blue girder behind me, is from the Virginia Avenue Bridge on the east side of Indianapolis. And sometimes, as you know, bridges don't have quite the clearance we'd like them to have, or trucks are too high than we'd like them to be, and they get hit. And this bridge took its share of hits. As you can see, there's a lot of damage on the paint. In fact, there's bolted retrofits where the girder had fractured. Now, as you look down the length of this girder, you might think it's a curved girder. We make curved girders for steel structures, but this girder should be straight. Both vertically, it should be plumb, and the flange should be straight. But after multiple impacts by heavy vehicles, this is the kind of damage this girder was able to tolerate. And INDOT donated this girder to us because it has some unique damage, some great retrofits and repairs, and presents another great opportunity to teach about impacts and what to look for on damaged girders. So what we're looking at now is a very unique specimen. You might be thinking it looks like a bridge or has lots of components from bridges, and you'd be correct. It's actually a specimen that has lots of different specimens. We spend a lot of time and money and effort in this country inspecting steel bridges, looking for cracks, corrosion, various damage. Behind me is what's called a probability of detection study frame or setup, or POD setup. And in there may or may not be fatigue cracks. Now, we know they are, but you, as someone who may come here and take a course, don't know where they are. And the objective of the study is to figure out what do we find, but more importantly, what do we miss when we do visual inspection of bridges. It's believed to be the first study of its kind in the country, and it's led to some interesting results. Now, the objective is to improve training, because once we get a handle on what we miss, we can then figure out, well, how do we train better to improve the detection rate and, of course, then improve the reliability of bridges. Unique specimen, and having it outdoors like this in the air where we can have lifts and so forth representing the real environmental conditions, the real access conditions, is something really special to have here at the center. Where we are right now is the latest addition to the Center for Aging Infrastructure, something we're really proud of. Wabash National, the trailer manufacturer, gave a generous donation to build what you're looking at, which is our forensic specimen gallery. Behind me is the only surviving connection from the I-35W bridge, the bridge that collapsed in Minneapolis in 2007. So what we did here was built a frame and have suspended the connection, like I had mentioned, just like it would have been in the truss prior to the failure. And it really allows students and those that we're training to see how pieces would have went together, how they came apart, and how the whole connection then led to the collapse in this case. Purdue University is the only location where one of these specimens exists. Now there's many specimens outdoors, but these are things we want to keep inside so that they don't continue to age and damage with time. It allows us to teach students and engineers about failures. And the specimen gallery will soon be filled with more specimens that we have in storage right now. But again, it's a great opportunity to keep these historically significant pieces, but to continue to use them for training and education.